Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to Nation Now. I'm Aaron Lingdo. We begin with the top story. It seems like the BJP is heading for a clean sweep one more time in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council elections. Well, if the latest trends are anything to go by, then the BJP is set to emerge victorious in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, the results of which will be announced likely by afternoon. Now, if we take a look at the tally, then the BJP is already leading in 22 out of the 26 seats. Now, meanwhile, the Uping Maslai has won by a margin of 708 votes from the Amri seat. While votes are being counted at Deepu, Hamren, and Bokajan. Well, this is the big story we're tracking this afternoon. It seems like the BJP is heading for a clean sweep one more time in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council elections. Well, if the latest trends are anything to go by, then the BJP is set to emerge victorious in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, the results of which will be announced likely by afternoon. Well, if we take a look at the tally, then the BJP is already leading by 22 out of the 26 seats. And meanwhile, the Uping Maslai has won by a margin of 700 votes from the Amri seat. While votes are being counted at Deepu, Hamren, and Bokajan. Well, it may be mentioned here that the BJP had contested in 26 seats, the Congress in 24, the ASDC in 17, the Aam Aadmi Party in 10 seats, and the independent candidates in 58 seats.
প্ৰথম ৰাউণ্ডটো সমাপ্ত হৈছে 12খন টেবুল 12টা পিএছ বোকাজান 12টা টেবুলত আমি প্ৰায় 930টা মানৰ ভোটত অগ্ৰগতি লাভ কৰি আছো আৰু টোটেল 4টা ৰাউণ্ড হ'ব 4টা ৰাউণ্ডত ইতিমধ্যে এটা ৰাউণ্ড গৈছে এটা ৰাউণ্ডত আমি 930টা ভোটত লিড লৈছো টোটেল 2427 ভোট পাইছো আমিতো 7টাৰ ভিতৰত 7টাই জিকিম বুলি আমি এসেসমেন্টত ওলাইছে এটা চাও কি হয় ফার্স্ট রাউন্ডটো খতম হৈছে 4টা ৰাউণ্ড হ'ব টোটেল আপোনাৰ মোৰ জেনেকে 4টা ৰাউণ্ড হ'ব কাবাৰ 5টা ৰাউণ্ড হ'ব কাবাৰ 3টা ৰাউণ্ড হ'ব তো প্ৰথম ৰাউণ্ডত গম পোৱা নাযায় কোনোবা অলপ চলপ ভোটত লিডিং লৈ আছে বা কোনোবা পিছ পৰি আছে কিন্তু আমাৰ মোটামুটি 5টা সমষ্টিত আমি লিড লৈ আছো আৰু বাকি দুটা পিএছৰ এতিয়ালৈকে গণনা চলি আছে গম পোৱা নাই
জয় হ'ব নে
জয় হ'ব কিমান ভোটত জয় হ'ব তো ক'ব নোৱাৰো কিন্তু জয় হ'ব তা ফাৰ্স্ট ৰাউণ্ডটো আমি জিকিছো
আমাৰ সফলতা হ'ব বিজেপি চৰকাৰে আমাৰ গঠন কৰিব সেইকাৰণে আমাৰ মনৰ বহুত ভাল লাগিছে আমাৰ কেণ্ডিডেট আমাৰ দুৱাৰ বাগুৰি আমাৰ ৰিচাৰ্জ টকবি আমাৰ কেণ্ডিডেট জিকিব এটা আমাৰ ডেভেলপমেণ্ট আমাৰ দুখীয়া ৰাস্তা পানী সেইবোৰে কৰিব গতিকে আমাৰ বহুত আজিৰ কাৰণে দিনটোত আমাৰ শুভ দিন আমাৰ মনটো
And meanwhile, our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain, spoke to KAAC CEM Tuliram Ronghang a short while back. Let's listen into that conversation.
I am now joined by the outgoing Chief Executive Member of the Karbi Council, Mr. Tuliram Ronghang. Tuliram Ronghang Dangoria, itimodhe result ulua arambo hoi goise first trendot BJP is leading in 24 of the 26 seats. Apunar first reaction to ki hobo?
Reaction iku nai je moi on behalf of the people of Karbi Anglong moi apnar North East Life of things disu for apni interview loba karone tarasot Karbi Anglong ৰাজ্যত ধন্যবাদ দিছো যে ইয়াত Karbi Anglong ৰাজ্যে এটা চেঞ্জ বিচাৰিছে Karbi Anglong ৰাজ্যে এটা ডেভেলপ বিচাৰিছে Karbi Anglong মানুহে আনএমপ্লয়েড প্ৰবলেম সলভ কৰিব বিচাৰে গতিকে গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট লগত যিটো নেকি বিজেপি গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট একে বিজেপি গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট আছে ৰাজ্যে ভাল পাইছে আৰু Karbi Anglong ৰাজ্যে মানে Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, dynamic and energetic Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma and Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. এই দুজন লিডাৰশিপত মানে Karbi Anglong ৰাজ্যে থাকিব বিচাৰে আৰু Karbi Anglong ৰাজ্যে মানে এটা পিচ এটা থাকিব বিচাৰে, শান্তি এটা বিচাৰে। লাষ্ট 5 yearsত এটা কোনো ক্লেছ নাই, কোনো জাতি জনগোষ্ঠীৰ লগত কোনো ক্লেছ নাই। আগতে এথনিক ক্লেছ বহুত আছে কাৰ্বি আংলঙত।
সো আপুনি এইটো ক'ব বিচাৰিছে তুলিৰাম ৰংহাং ডাঙৰীয়া যে এই ভোটটো যিটো বিজেপিৰ পক্ষত যিটো ভোট হৈছে আজি, যিটো ৰিজাল্ট আজি ওলাইছে, সেইটো পিচ আৰু ডেভেলপমেণ্টৰ কাৰণে ৰাইজে বিজেপিক ভোট দিছে।
ৰাইট।
So you're saying that it's a vote for peace and development.
Yes, peace. People needs a peace and development and all-round development in Karbi Anglong and West Karbi.
Right. আৰু মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডক্টৰ হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা ডাঙৰীয়াই যিটো 19খন ইলেকশ্যন ৰেলী কৰিলে, আপুনিতো ইমান দিন ৰাজনীতি কৰিছে, আপুনি আগতে কোনো মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীয়ে কাৰ্বি আংলং অটনমাছ কাউন্সিল ইলেকশ্যনত এইদৰে কেম্পেইনিং কৰা আপোনাৰ মনত আছেনে?
নাই, দেখা নাই, এইটো হিষ্ট্ৰীয়ে নকয়। ইয়াৰ আমাৰ কোনো চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ এনেকে এবাৰ দুবাৰ আহে খালি।
আৰু এইটোৱে কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ প্ৰভাৱ পেলালে? মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীৰ ব্যক্তিগত কেম্পেইনটোৱে কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ প্ৰভাৱ?
মানে মেক্সিমাম ক্ৰিটিক্স goes to honorable chief minister for election campaign.
Right.
Maximum goes to honorable chief minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma. Critics goes to.
আৰু আপুনি যদি আকৌ এবাৰ দ্বিতীয়বাৰৰ বাবে যদি আপুনি কাউন্সিলটো লিড কৰিবলৈ যদি আপুনি সুযোগটো পায়, আপোনাৰ ফোকাস আৰু আপোনাৰ মেইন প্ৰায়োৰিটি কি হ'ব?
Main priority to all-round development in Karbi Anglong and West Karbi Anglong, number 1. Number 2, unemployed problem solve কৰিব লাগিব ইয়াতে। বহুত ইয়াত unemployed বহুত আছে, ইয়াত unemployed youth educated বহুত আছে, সেইবিলাকৰ সমস্যা আমি সমাধান কৰিব লাগিব।
আৰু কংগ্ৰেছ পাৰ্টিয়ে যিটো এতিয়ালৈকে ট্ৰেন্ড যিটো ওলাইছে, তাত এটাতো কংগ্ৰেছে আগবাঢ়ি থকা নাই, কিন্তু আম আদমি পাৰ্টিয়ে এটা সিটত আগবাঢ়ি আছে, আপুনি হেতুত কি ক'ব?
এইটো মই নকওঁ, কিন্তু আমাৰ দলৰ মানুহে কিছুমান এটা এইটো আমাৰ নিজৰ মানুহে এইটো কিছুমান কৰা হৈছে, এইটো সময় আপোনাক কম মই।
ঠিক আছে, হ'ব, থেংক ইউ, অশেষ ধন্যবাদ। That was Tuliram Ronghang, the outgoing CEM of the Karbi Council, talking to Northeast Live. Thank you very much.
And meanwhile, we have reactions coming in from BJP's D. Ufing Maslai, who has won from the Amri seat. He defeated his nearest rival by a margin of over 900 votes.
মই প্ৰথম প্ৰতিক্ৰিয়া হিচাপে আমৰিৰ ৰাইজক মই ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ। তেখেতে পুনৰ অটনমাছ কাউন্সিললৈ নিৰ্বাচিত কৰাৰ বাবে।
পৰিকল্পনা কি আছে, যিহেতু প্ৰথমবাৰ আকৌ আপোনাৰ জয়লাভ কৰিলে, কি পৰিকল্পনা আছে?
পৰিকল্পনাটো এইটোৱে, উন্নয়নৰ কামবিলাক মই জোৰ দিম। ৰাস্তাই হওক বা এডুকেশ্যন ইনষ্টিটিউশ্যনে হওক, টুৰিজিমেই হওক, এইবিলাক মই জোৰ দিম।
এতিয়া 9টা পৰিষদীয় সমষ্টি 8টা এতিয়াও বিজেপিয়ে লিড লৈ আছে, ফলাফলৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আপুনি কি ক'ব?
9টা সমষ্টি ৱেষ্ট কাৰ্বি আংলঙৰ 9টা সমষ্টি 9টাতে বিজেপি মানে জয় লাভ কৰিব। ৰাইজক মই এইটোৱে আহ্বান জনাইছোঁ, পুনৰ আমাৰ ভাৰতীয় জনতা পাৰ্টীৰ লগত সহযোগ কৰক। আমি উন্নয়নৰ কামবিলাক যেনেকুৱা আছে সেইবিলাক আমি কৰি লৈ যাম। আৰু ভাৰতীয় জনতা পাৰ্টীৰ আমাৰ শ্লোগান আছে, সবকে সাথ সবকে বিকাশ, সবকে বিশ্বাস আৰু সবকে প্ৰয়াস। সেইটো মতে আমি সকলো ৰাইজক লৈ পেলাই আমি উন্নয়নৰ কাম কাজত মানে আগুৱাই।
And we have reactions coming in from the BJP leader and cabinet minister Piyush Hazarika. Let's listen into that.
প্ৰথম যিখিনি দেখিছোঁ বিজেপিৰ উত্থান দেখিছোঁ। মই আগতেও কৈ আছিলোঁ, কংগ্ৰেছ ছিংগুল ডিজিটত নহয়, মোৰ মতে শূন্যত থাকিব। ছিংগুল ডিজিটলৈ যাব নোৱাৰে, শূন্যতে থাকিব। শূন্য ছিংগুল ডিজিটে, কিন্তু শূন্যতে থাকিব।
Now, in what has appeared as another instance of bulldozer justice, the Prayagraj Development Authority is carrying out a demolition drive at the residence of Javed Mohammed, the mastermind behind the violent protest in the city. This demolition drive, which is taking place amidst high security, comes just a day after the Uttar Pradesh named Javed Mohammed as a mastermind behind the violent protest against the former BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's remarks on the Prophet. Well, the Prayagraj Development Authority, or the PDA, had served a notice to Ahmed to vacate the house by 11 a.m. today. While the PDA maintains that the house has been illegally constructed by Javed Mohammed. Now, the mega demolition drive today is taking place amidst high security in the JK Asiana colony located in Kareli locality of Prayagraj Old City area. While notably, Javed has already been arrested in connection with the violence case. Now, a US judge has dismissed a $25 million lawsuit against star footballer Cristiano Ronaldo in connection with a 2009 rape allegation. It may be mentioned that Ronaldo was accused of raping a woman in a Las Vegas hotel room in 2009. Well, it may be mentioned here that the complainant had filed a civil lawsuit in September 2018 accusing the football sensation of raping her in a Las Vegas hotel penthouse suite in 2009, then paying her $375,000 in hush money. Well, the lawsuit also accused the Portuguese footballer of breaking a 2010 confidentiality clause in their financial settlement over the alleged sexual assault. However, the footballer had strongly denied the accusations, following which his legal team insisted that the pair had consensual sex and that the subsequent leak of their settlement was due to a hacking incident. Now, thousands of protesters rallied against gun violence on Saturday in the United States capital, Washington, D.C. The protest was also held in other cities across the country, including New York. Now, the protesters joined in unison against the hundreds of mass shootings over the past 2 decades, with the latest being the Uvalde, Buffalo, Parkland, Newton, and El Paso shooting. With signs, chants, the protesters condemned mass shootings in the United States and renewed a call for federal legislation to limit the use of the military-style weapons that have made many of them possible. Now, many vowed to fight the inaction at the polls. The demonstrations organized by March for Our Lives were a reprise of rallies sponsored by that student group that drew hundreds of thousands of people in 2018 after the massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. Well, this time, the demonstration in Washington followed shootings last month that left 10 Black people dead in a Buffalo supermarket and killed 19 school children and 2 teachers at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. The Saturday protest unfolded in hundreds of cities across the country and at a smattering of locations in Europe as well.
A national tipping point, especially, well, I'm in 9th grade, but as I've seen over the past few years, the amount of gun violence that has happened, I think we're reaching a tipping point where we're about to hit desensitization to gun violence. And I think that we're not there yet. And I think that this is going to be the amount of mass shootings that has happened. I think that if this trend continues and if we don't choose to take this opportunity to fight back, it's going to continue again. The cycle is going to continue and eventually people aren't going to be fazed by it anymore.
Now, in a special goodwill gesture to its spiritual neighbor, Mongolia, India is sending 4 holy relics of Lord Buddha to be displayed for 11 days at the Batsagan temple in Gandan Monastery of Ulaanbaatar. Now, the sacred Kapilvastu relics is being flown to Mongolia in 2 special bulletproof caskets on board an Indian Air Force aircraft today, along with a 25-member Indian delegation led by the Union Law and Justice Minister Kiran Rijiju. The relics, believed to contain Gautam Buddha's remains, are part of the collection on display at the National Museum and were last part of a multi-city display in Sri Lanka in 2012. Well, they were accorded the AA category status by the Archaeological Survey of India on account of their rarity and delicate nature, and it was also decided that they will not be sent out of the country. Well, however, an exception was made for Mongolia following a special request from the Mongolian government and considering India's long-standing diplomatic ties with the 3rd neighbor in the east. Well, incidentally, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the first Indian premier to visit Mongolia in 2015. He had visited the Gandan monastery where the relics will now be displayed, presented a Bodhi tree sapling to Hamba Lama, and defined India and Mongolia as spiritual neighbors during his address to the Mongolian parliament. Now, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, or the BCCI, is expected to get richer by at least rupees 32,000 crore over the next few days. The richest cricket body in the world is selling broadcast and digital rights for its most lucrative and successful product, the Indian Premier League. While there are several big names in the fray, as an intense bidding war is expected. The auction began today morning at 11 in Mumbai. All the bidders are bidding from the confines of their own premises. E-auction agency M Junction is conducting the IPL media rights auction in Mumbai. And this is the first time that the BCI has opted for e-auction when it comes to the IPL media rights. Well, at the e-auction, incremental bids will be placed until competitors drop out of the auction process. Notably, the bids will be displayed on a screen without revealing the name of the bidder, with the amount on a per-match basis for each package. Well, Star India, Reliance Viacom, and Sony are the biggest players for the TV broadcast package A, which is priced at 49 crore per match. Well, the battle spices up more as the BCCI will not award the rights to composite bidders for multiple packages, unlike last time. While a single entity can buy two packages, the rights will be awarded to the highest bidder in each section. Now, Package A, which is a TV rights with the base price of 49 crore, and Package B, which is the digital rights with base price of 33 crore, starts the auction. Well, meanwhile, the advent of the Indian Premier League has changed the game for the BCCI, which earns its major share of its revenue from selling the broadcast rights for the IPL. Staying with sports, on the eve of the second T20 international against South Africa, Team India held a training session in a packed Baramati Stadium in Cuttack. Well, looking at the crowd in the pictures, one would think that they are from the practice session before the toss on match day, but such was the excitement in Cuttack that people swarmed in just for the training session. International cricket is returning to the Baramati Stadium on Sunday after 2019, when India took West Indies on in an ODI. While sharing pictures from the training session on social media, the official handle of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, or the BCCI, wrote, and I quote, "Match day feels on a non-match day. A packed stadium here in Cuttack to watch Team India train," unquote. Well, the BCCI shared pictures of Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Shreyas Iyer, and Umran Malik from their training session, with the stands filled up behind them. India head into the second T20 international, having lost the series opener after South Africa chased down 212 with 7 wickets to spare. A sensational efforts by experienced Indian goalkeeper PR Srijesh and an on-target attack in thrilling shootout saw the Indian men's hockey team defeat Olympic champions Belgium 5-4 in the FIH Hockey Pro League match in Antwerp on Saturday. Well, it was a penalty stroke save by Srijesh off an attempt by Nicholas de Kerpel during the shootout that ensured India were victorious, while Harmanpreet Singh, Abhishek, Lalit Upadhyay, Shamsher Singh, and Akashdeep Singh converted for India. Well, earlier during the regulation time, Indian men's hockey team held their nerves, making a brilliant comeback into the final quarter to overcome a 1-3 deficit, only to hold Belgium 3-3 and take the encounter to a thrilling shootout. Both teams lived up to the billing as they built on their rivalry from end to end in a packed stadium. It was goals from Harmanpreet Singh and Jarmanpreet Singh that brought India back to the game in the fourth quarter after Shamsher Singh opened the scoreboard in the second quarter, while Cedric Charlia and Simon Bernard and Nicolas de Carpel scored for the reigning Olympic champions. Now, India produced a dramatic 1-2 victory against Afghanistan in their second match of Group D in the AFC Asian Cup Qualifiers 2023 at the VYBK Stadium on Saturday, with Sunil Chhetri and Sahal Abdul Samad scoring for the country in the 86th and the 90-plus second minute, respectively. While in the second half, it looked like neither team would be able to break the deadlock, but then it was Sunil Chhetri who once again came up with the goal. While India won a free kick on the edge of the box courtesy Ashik Kurunia, who was brought down in the 84th minute. Sunil Chhetri stepped up and curled the ball past the wall and into the back of the net to send the crowd into wild celebrations. However, those celebrations were short-lived, as in the 88th minute, Afghanistan equalized when a corner for them found Zubair Amiri unmarked at the near post, who came up with a thumping effort. Now, in the 89th minute, Sunil Chhetri and Manveer Singh were brought off, while Udanta Singh and Sahal Abdul Samad come on. While in stoppage time, Sahal Abdul Samad stepped up to slot the ball into the bottom left corner from a tough angle to give India all 3 points and bring ecstatic scenes at the VYBK Stadium. With this win, India moves level on points with Hong Kong, with both teams tied on 6 points in Group D. Now, India will face their direct opponents for the top spot in the group on June the 14th when they take on Hong Kong at the VYBK Stadium at 8:30 p.m.
Very much excited, happy, everything, because it's in front of the fans, After so long, we have been waiting to play in front of the fans. And yeah, this is not just a win. It is all the team effort, 90 minutes of effort of every player on the pitch. So I'm really happy and proud of this team. Nothing, I just thought to put it in. By God's grace, it went in, and I'm happy now. For a moment, we all went down, I think, because as soon as we scored, we conceded another goal. And I badly wanted to do something in the field, even if it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes. So I went on with that, and thankfully, we won the game.
Now, Prince Louis, the youngest child of Kate Middleton and Prince William, gave a piece of his mind to his mother during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Queen Elizabeth. Well, the video, which had went viral, won the hearts of netizens across the world. Now, days after this adorable antics, former rugby star Mike Tindall, whose wife Zara is the Duke of Cambridge's cousin, defended the relentless 4-year-old, saying that the young prince's mischievous behavior at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee was due to a sugar high from eating sweets. Well, Tindall also added that it was tough for the young royals to sit through the lengthy ceremony, which went for more than 2 hours. Prince Louis stole the show during Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebration with his adorable antics. Well, the little kid also attended the Platinum Jubilee pageant with his parents and siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Well, a video from the event of Prince Louis throwing a tantrum at his mother and making faces at her during the event has surfaced on the internet. Well, the clip showed a grumpy Prince Louis making peculiar faces at his mother. He even put his hand over her mouth while she was telling him something. While Kate struggled to control him but remained graceful all this while. Well, that's the most adorable thing I've seen all day. Let's move on. Well, Britain's 13th century lost town, sometimes referred to as Britain's lost Atlantis, has been found after decades of searching. The old town was swallowed entirely by seas centuries ago. Ravensur Odd was a medieval port town that was also called Raven's Rod. Now, located in East Yorkshire, it was considered to be one of the most important ports during its time. Ravensur Odd used to be a major stopping place for fishing boats and cargo ships. While the 13th century town had more than 100 houses and a set of wharves and warehouses along the seashore. Well, it had become a flourishing coastal town by 1299. Well, unfortunately, it was swept into the sea in the mid-1300s and remained underwater for centuries. Now, many refer to the town as Britain's lost Atlantis because no one was able to see it for more than 650 years. Well, scientists had been trying to locate the town for years, but a recent research closer to the shore uncovered rocks and stonework just a few meters beneath the water's surface. Experts say that the town remained undiscovered for centuries as previous scientists searched for it in all the wrong places. It was generally believed that the most likely site for Ravensur Odd was about a mile off the Yorkshire coast. But when a new group of scientists took their research closer to the shore, they found that the rocks and stonework. Now, experts say that the find can be as legendary as the discovery of Pompeii. And moving on now, Kerala gold smuggling accused Swapna Suresh was seen weeping while she defended herself as a victim who has been falsely implicated in the case. As per reports, before collapsing, Swapna Suresh made an emotional appeal and said, "Please kill me so that the story will get over. I am not well. Give me a chance to live." Well, Swapna Suresh was addressing the media to explain the case against her lawyer, R. Krishnaraj, that the police had filed non-bailable charges against Krishnaraj over a Facebook post that allegedly threatened to hurt religious sentiments. Now, Suresh said that the potential arrest of her lawyer was a deliberate attempt to isolate her.
Why are they attacking me like this? I still stick on to the statement that I gave. Don't hurt other people who are around me. Hurt me. Please kill me so that the story will get over. I am not well. Give me a chance to live. And these tears are not a coward's tears. These tears are of that of a woman who is suffering so much. Why are you doing this to my lawyer also now? You should have done this when the Facebook post came out. You should have done this then. You should not have done this when the audio clip came out.
And that's all we have for you on Nation Now. I'm Aaron Lingdo. Thanks for watching.
Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.